No, not really.
Do you have an inkling what this might be?
So, what I can... small metal bells attached to metal square, and then it kind of looks like
Oh, you were right about the metal. It's bronze again.
bronze again. Okay. They've got small...
John, I'm gonna be fine.
How long have we been together now?
On the radio? I started at Radio August about 2 years ago. Why?
No, I mean... Do you want me to leave my wife? No, I mean... romantic.
You kissed me on the first day. Don't you remember? I was putting on my makeup and you came up behind me. I saw how you were watching me in the mirror. It made me feel alive.
Why didn't you tell me about...
What didn't I tell you about Dorota?
That you were sleeping. I'm giving you a chance to tell me now. That you were asleep.
It was just a fling, John. I wanted to try something different. To stretch myself. I would have told you eventually. All three of us could have had fun together. You do want to have fun with me, don't you, John?
Welcome to Okay, so please explain to the... that you are holding.
It's wooden, and...
Correct.
It's got engravings on it. I think they're they animals?
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
Hang something on? Like a coat or...
You could do that. It's got a house, kind of, it's a household item.
I honestly...
I doubt you've ever used one of those. You've never used a mangle.
A mangle?
Yeah.
For clothing?
Yeah. Bed sheets. That's what it is. Takes that amount of care nowadays. But this particular... in the 1960s.
Oh my gosh.
They were all identical quadruplets, aged 17.
I followed you to Dorota's last...
Are you insane? Why did you follow me, you stupid bitch?
You killed Dorota.
I absolutely did not.
Then what did?
She texted me to come over. Then she asked me to watch her play with herself from a distance. She likes people to watch, didn't you know? It's probably best if we didn't see each other for a while. You know where the door is.
Everything seems to be made out of wood and metal, so this...
Violet, I'm actually a bit tied up at the moment. Well, in danger, actually.
Why don't you like me?
What? I like everyone. What makes you say that?
You're trying to take Zach from me. You told Sam I didn't like you.
It's just, when I dropped the radio off at the guest house, you weren't very welcoming.
I get suspicious of...
There's always strings, right? Did you feel guilty about not listening? It's okay. I'm not a doctor. So we can be friends now?
Yeah.
Amazing. I've got a lot going on at the moment, which hopefully I'll get through. And if I do, I'll come and see you at the guest house sometime. Okay?
If I'm honest, at first because of the handle, a weapon of combat, but then if I look at it more closely, I would say handheld mirror.
You're right. Well done.
Wow.
But it's not just a mirror. It's something you... By the way, you have impeccable hairstyle today.
Thank you very much,
as usual. It's a reflecting mirror, but it was used for teleportation. Allegedly, you could... She's gone, listeners. It's amazing. No, she hasn't.
He didn't. He was the one in her bedroom last night. I never made it that far. I just followed him to her house. I wrongly assumed we were in a relationship. I thought that he was cheating on me. Which he was. I saw him leave Dorota's and I followed him straight after. I don't know if anyone else was there. Because I was protecting Zach. This looks bad, doesn't it?
Hang something on? Like a coat or...
You could... It's kind of a household item. You've ever used one of those? You've never used a mangle.
A mango?
Literally to flatten bed sheets. That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah, nobody takes that amount.
I couldn't do this without him. He looks out for me. He's my best friend. What do you know, Sam? He does? That's so sweet of him. But I could never do that. I'm not ready to settle down, Sam. And Poe has a wife and family, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. It's not what it sounds like. Dorota lost her scholarship. She said it was an administrative error. She showed me the letter and everything. They tend not to report those kind of things, Sam. The money was for her, Sam, so she could have her dream of being a cellist. I wanted her to have her dream. It doesn't matter now. No, not exactly. I told him I was in trouble with credit cards, and he offered to bail me out. I asked if I could have one of his artifacts, and of course he gave it to me. It's off. I said I'd pose for some photos, but that's it. I used to be a burlesque dancer, so I don't mind showing my body, but Zach's not getting a private show. Not now.
This curiosity shop is now closed.
I didn't expect news to travel this fast. You can't tell anyone else. I've not told my wife yet. I think she should at least hear it from me. You ask the wrong question, Detective. Why now? Because of death. When a loved one, or you yourself, faces death, it makes you hold account of all your life decisions. Not marrying Alice would be my biggest regret. Yes, I love my wife and our children, and if she loves me, she'll let me go. Alice lights a fire in me my wife never found the fireplace for, let alone lit. You can't condone my actions, I understand. Divorce is strangely delicious. A great polarizing topic for society. So many people think it's clearly wrong. So many people think it's clearly acceptable. As the tide turns, the stigma fades. Enjoy your life, detective. I hope you pick once and pick right. Yes, I'm surprised she told you about that. How did that come up? Why would Zach West know that? Maybe she was selling it to him. Alice is a bit of a spendthrift, unfortunately. Likes to live life on the edge of her credit card limit. It's actually not the first time I've bailed her out. Several, actually. Student loan, council tax, income tax, Monte Carlo. We've become a bit intertwined financially, it would seem.
For another as easy as walking down the street past a nearly empty house. It started with one, the first domino to be pushed down. She was young. Young, they listen. It knew. Sooner or later she would, and there would be a tidal wave to feast upon. Ever present. Till the sickness spread, the demon could only enjoy that girl trapped in his teeth. Prepare for the moment, the tipping point when she would finally cut her.
Yeah, Dr. Tanner. She's checking up on Violet. Why are you still giving her a hard time about this? She's had it tough enough already. She wanted to check Violet was taking her pills. Apparently Violet told her to call me to confirm. She's dealing with a lot of things, just go easy. The doctor said the aliens are delusions, a side effect of her previous alcoholism. She's been sober 6 months, and I don't want to change that, Sam. The neuropathy she suffered due to alcohol is causing her problems. The pills are to try to help with that, but I guess they have side effects too. Memory loss. She's not a monster, just a little girl lost. She was drinking to forget. She ran with a bad crowd a few years ago. They branded their backs with symbols, basically a cult. The leaders were imprisoned, but they left a lot of baggage behind. You won't get any mileage talking to her about it, I assure you. Rain's still a suspect. No corroborated alibi. Bronwyn Castle has one, Lexi Taylor doesn't. I got my search back on Rain, or Petrovsky, as we should call him. He's got priors that you're looking into. Rain met Ellis when he was touting for work. He gets around quickly. Zach seems to be a fan of serial killers. At least, you've told me he has an extensive book collection on them. You found another connection between Zach and Ellis, selling Poe's pendant in exchange for nude photos. Zach has a thing about this, doesn't he? Ellis knows Violet because of the free radio project. Violet's been doing some web searches on Ellis. You think that's a jealous streak. I think it's a sign of the times. You've still not accepted my friend request, have you? Ellis thinks Violet doesn't like her very much. I'm not sure I like you very much. Where's the proof? Violet's just admitted being at the crime scene last night with Zach. It's not looking good for Zach now. Oscar's in the clear. He was playing football last night. He said that Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet. Not many people would know that. I think you've narrowed it down to Zach, Rain, and Lexi. That's just my professional opinion, mind you. Feel free to ignore the person who hired you. That's it.
Oh, beside her, her final bed. She'd been like this. Sight in her heart. Of course they don't. You'll sleep, and it'll be over. What?
How do you do it, Sam? It's been just a few hours since you've arrived, and yet you've got my life story already. Show me where they branded you. You can't, can you? There are only 7 of us. Those faces still haunt my dreams. Thanks for bringing it up again, though. Such a joy to be around, Sam.
And the demon was quieted for a while, until he... And nothing got better for her. She tried again, just different enough to work this time. The virus stained the porcelain, and he relished in it. The pain let go, finally, and that fed him too. For her poor soul to... her true final... wasn't quite spreading yet. That death alone couldn't start the contagion. It needed an audience. And they made it so easy. They paraded her face on posters, told her tragic...
It's now 10 o'clock. Here's your August update. Investigations deepen into last night's murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw, a talented cellist who had recently been granted a place at Juilliard, was found strangled at her home last night. With the murderer still at large, Chief DuPont has urged residents to remain calm and stresses there is almost no chance of anyone else being harmed. Alice, if you're listening, let me know you're okay. In other news, a handful of August residents have reported seeing strange lights in the sky earlier this evening. The lights, which witnesses describe as searingly bright, were spotted over the east edge of town, past the fire station. Have you seen any strange lights? Or for that matter, little green men? Let me know. That's 10 o'clock with Poe.